live and in living color from New York, and my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's Sunday Night Live with the late Joey Reynolds Show, the world's first triple cast on radio, TV, and internet. Big J Sorensen, who are Joey's guests tonight?
Thanks, Shotgun Tom Kelly and the City of Angels. Tonight, Joey's got a guy you know from TV's The Sopranos and Vinyl, plus the film American Gangster, and soon the upcoming USA Network TV series The Sinner, Robert Funaro. Also, seen on that funny new hefty TV commercial is one of the women in love with John Cena, actress, comedian, writer, and voiceover artist Kathy Searle. In addition, bassist, singer, songwriter Jay Leonhart, along with pianist Tomoko Ohno. Plus, who the New York Times says is Broadway's song and dance man non-pareil, Broadway actor Leroy Reams.
And now, here's Joey!
Swing, Joey, swing!
Burn, baby.
Joey Reynolds Show.
What a show.
I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm on delay.
You've been on delay for 40 years. What are you talking
No. I said, that's a very cheap shot you took at me for a guy who hasn't worked for a couple of years.
So you're
Can I turn
listening
this-
to the stream.
I'm peeing in the stream.
Is that right?
Yeah. No, this is a pretty amazing thing, that everybody's watching their phones except we're on the cars.
Right.
And number one in the cars. is Super Sales,
We're
as I
number
say.
one in the cars.
Well, we're paying for the time. And we can say anything we want to say just about, except for those 7 words that you're not supposed to use. Of course, I know 9 of them.
Yeah.
And
You invented some of them.
pissed off, you can say. You can say things that are kind of questionable.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are offended by any kind of a series of insults that come from our. What's the matter? Do I need more? We're on the air.
We're on the air. I don't know if you knew that.
Did you know that? Yeah. He comes in and asks if I want coffee. This is an intern program.
That was
Wait
funny.
a minute. Come in here for a minute. Dylan, have him come back in for a minute.
Let him go.
No. I have an errand for him to run.
Yeah, we're on the radio now.
Dylan, come on in here. Have him come in here. Just for a
Somebody
second.
get him in here for a second.
Yeah, just bring him in here.
Continue with what you were saying.
Why? I have an offer that you can't refuse. I got Bobby Funaro here, who was on The Sopranos, and also America's Gangster. He's in the film with a couple of good actors, I would say, like Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
So Bobby's here tonight. But I have an offer. This radio station wouldn't do as well if they didn't have us, because we're surrounded by a plethora of informational shows.
Informational shows.
Yeah, I'm
yes.
being polite.
Doctor, my spleen hurts. What should I do?
Well,
Go to an
no,
emergency
don't make
room.
fun of the income.
I'm not.
We're trying to make nice of this company, all right?
Of course we are.
But I have an offer, and I would like to make the offer,
Let's
all
hear
right?
it. Let's hear it.
That we pay for the show. You know that, right? I mean, why would I have to pay for a show at this point in my life? Because I'm old and want to be on the air. That's why. No, they're not doing what we do on radio and television. They're just not doing it. They don't do what we do anymore.
It's unfortunate.
We got rid of every personality in the world.
Yeah.
Regis Philbin, David Letterman, Oprah Winfrey. There's no personalities on TV.
Yeah,
We're stuck
sketch
with
players.
I think at this point, who's the guy in the morning? Al Roker and his magic marker and his weather, and we're stuck with Kathy Lee. I've been through this before.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about a couple of things that you wouldn't ordinarily talk about. Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Amazon.com. They had the Amazon Prime thing they were offering, which would give you a bargain on a lot of this crap that they're warehousing. Now, these are the guys that want to sell online, and now they're opening retail stores. He's buying airplanes. Bezos, is that his name?
Yeah.
And Bezos below cost. and so Jeff Bezos has bought airlines to compete with the U.S. government.
Wow.
See, the United States government has a thing called the post office.
Yes, it does.
Which has money that we all share in as a country.
Kind of, yeah.
Now, if they cut out our country's money and they go to their own personal fund and they're screwing us, I don't think that's such a good thing for the government to want to have happen. But we don't have a government. We haven't had one in a long time.
Well, that's your
so I'll tell you why. And, it's very simple. When I was a disc jockey, we took payola. If they wanted to have a hit record, they gave us money. We put a record on the air. Dick Clark even had his name on published material. He never wrote a song in his life.
No.
he was lucky that he wrote his scripts. You know, I mean, he was a very nice guy, a good friend, and you know, God rest his soul. But the guy went before the U.S. Congress. He was taking payoffs, and by putting on the air songs that he owned, which he didn't write, publishing it's called. And it's called payola. If you did something wrong, Alan Freed was accused of it in New York as a first disc jockey who coined the word rock and roll. They fired him for payola. Now, we have a government that is practicing payola. They call it lobbying. Now, it's just another word. It's the same thing. You want something done, you pay off a guy. Yeah. You pay the guy goes and works the room. Right. He talks to congressmen, he takes them out, they play golf, they smoke cigars, or whatever the hell they do these days.
The average person can't do that.
Or do opiates, or whatever they're going to do, you know. And so these guys, they're on a roll all the time with someone else's money. Yeah. Where's Dylan? Did he not come back
he's not
in
coming.
Here? I got something for him to do.
Yeah, something
I want to make an offer. I would like to buy WABC. And I know they don't have a damn interest in money.
That's a big pot of money.
Know, listen. If you throw in the FM
and KBC,
I'll get the money out of my other pocket. But this is enough. Is this enough to buy WABC, guys? Because you know they're not doing anything with it anyway. We may as well. I just wonder. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to make an offer. It's like anything else.
I don't know if he has anything to do with it.
Well, I was going to give him the money, but I can't trust him to take it to.
That's all right.
All
he asked you was, "Do you want coffee?" That's really all he wanted.
I know. Well, he broke in the middle of my monologue that I never did. I forgot what I was going to talk about. I got I'm wearing cufflinks. You notice that? Yeah. And a designer shirt.
Very nice.
It's a collection.
Yeah, did you get it from Amazon?
From Maine.
No?
I got it from Maine.
Okay.
You've heard of LL Bean?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Well, this is not
it, no.
This is too good for their miserable little moccasin company that they run. You know?
Moccasins?
No, they have a good company. It's 24/7 they're open. I shouldn't be giving them a commercial. There's the offers on the table for until noon tomorrow. Anybody at ABC wants the money. And the FM's got to come in there too.
Really? Okay.
All right. Is that okay? Did we make our point?
Well, I think so. Yeah.
We're lucky we pay for this hour. You're not supposed to show American money on television or radio, you know.
What is that about?
It's illegal. Because weird. People think that if you photograph it, you're going to.
Like they haven't figured all that out already.
We're so guilty of everything. Really? And then O.J. Simpson now, who was finally let out of jail. Yeah. And there's a controversy about that, you know, because the fact of the matter is, I knew him when he was playing with the Buffalo Bills, and he was. Oh, here we go. Bobby Funaro's coming in. He's speaking. As soon as I talk about money, payoffs, and
a guy from the Sopranos
Simpson,
comes in.
Bobby Funaro comes in. The one that won the Emmy Award was the one that Michael Imperioli directed, which is called The Birthday Party. Correct? That's the one that won the Emmy Award.
The one that won the
Emmy
Mike on? For me was Terry Winter's Members Only.
Yeah,
that won an Emmy Award for best dramatic series episode. The year that we produced it.
Well, this week I was with Big Pussy. I was up in Maine,
Pastor,
and he doesn't want to be called Big Pussy anymore. I said, "What did you shrink?" You know, he's with Sally Struthers. You know, I mean, they're both doing Bullets Over Broadway.
Yeah, he's multi-talented. He has his rock band, and Vinny's a great actor. We work together in the Renegade Theater Company. We have a show coming up at the Cutting Room. I'm directing a piece sometime in September, Lovers and Other Strangers, and Maureen Van Zandt.
Yeah, which I love that film.
She's involved in it
that film was wonderful.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite pictures.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Gig Young was in it. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, one of these things that I'm bringing up names, and one of these things missing in our society is history. And, you know, you can't get an audience without having to do a 10-minute explanation of what the hell you're talking about. You know, first you have to explain what it is. It's the old black preacher. First it is I'm going to tell him what I'm going to tell him. Then I tell him what it is I got to say. And then I tell him what I done said. That's what it used to be in the South, you know, during those. That's not a racist thing.
No, I know that.
Everybody always looks at everything as being racist. You can't talk. Nobody can say anything anymore. We're all afraid to talk.
You know,
I'm not.
Correct. That's true.
I have this money on the table for ABC. I can say anything I want to say while I'm holding the money. Because believe me, I got them by the balls.
You have leverage. You have leverage.
That's right. Anyway, look at Russ in the other room. He says, "Well, we're going back to NBC." And Bruce just said, "Yeah, well, there's that delay. You know that show that was going to rerun in L.A.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
We're number 1 in L.A. We're number 2 in the cars. The second highest rated show.
It's
in
a great
LA.
honor to be back here with you. You're a great personality, and I really thank you very much
Thanks,
for inviting
Bobby.
me back.
Do you know where I used to see you all the time?
Where?
Michael Imperioli's theater.
Yes. Michael's theater. Yeah.
And you had original shows.
Yeah, well, I never did a play there, but I was somewhat involved with. But we have our own theater company, me, Vinny, and Maureen Van Zandt, called The Renegade. So we did our own shows. Michael did his. And Michael really tried his best to do off-Broadway shows, but it's so hard because of the unions and stuff like that, and what do you have to pay out and. Look, I work with Win Hammond from the American Place Theater, and that was one of the greatest theater artistic directors. He started Sam Shepard, Eric Bogosian, John Leguizamo. I saw him struggle. I mean, I was getting free classes at his workshop, and now he made me a receptionist to take classes, and it was a great struggle for him. And he started in the Lindsay administration, and he went out maybe 15 years ago, and he held on. Win is still teaching, believe it or not, and directing, but it's a hard struggle to produce theater in New York City.
Yeah, well, his theater, which was on the Lower West Side, he had it decorated like my grandmother's house. With the chairs and the plastic on it. But it was great. It was a theme.
I had an opening with Al Martino. We did a thing called
I don't know Al Martino.
Yes, I know you know Al Martino. We did a film together, a short film together called Cutout. And Michael was nice enough to make us have the premiere there. And my good friend Richard Bright from The Godfather, he showed up, and we had a great time.
We should remind everybody that Al sang the song in The Godfather.
Yes, he did. Yeah. But he told me some stories, Al, about The Godfather and how he didn't get that song. Andy Williams got the song.
Oh, yeah.
Because he kind of knew Bob Evans.
Now, do you want to hear a story about Al's past now? But I could tell it if you were here, I'd say it. I was the number 1 disc jockey in the country in the 60s, and I was the guy who had lived like Jackie Gleason. I had a mansion on Delaware Avenue, which became, incidentally, the house for, what's her name?
Gilda Radner House, yeah.
Now, these days. But I had a mansion with this indoor pool, and I had a screening room, a bowling alley. I mean, it was sumptuous.
As a disc jockey.
Yeah. Without payola, too.
Right. This is not Beverly Hills here.
No payola.
Better hold on to that.
Yeah. So anyway, let me tell you about Al. So Al was a construction guy out of Philly. Yes. I mean, he would put in driveways.
He built his home in Beverly Hills, his old backyard.
Wonderful. And he's a good friend, and a good singer. And his publisher was a good friend of mine, too, Al Gallico.
Yeah.
But, Al also had Bobby Vinton, if I'm going to drop names. But, what Al did was he came to my place and he looked, and I had an indoor Olympic pool, right? You would think he would be mesmerized and say, "Gee, Joey, I can't believe you live this way or how wonderful you are." He says, "That's going to play hell on the ceiling with the humidity coming in." Never gave me the satisfaction of knowing that I had done well.
Wow.
Is that Al?
That's Al. But, his father was a mason. He was a brickie and from Philadelphia, and he carried on that tradition. I stayed in his place in Beverly Hills, and he was very proud of the masonry he did in his backyard.
I know.
I gave him a little bit of kudos, but you didn't get it that night. I'm sorry.
Well, he lived around Steve Allen.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And Steve tells a great story about leaving the property one morning. He goes out to the garage and he has his hands filled with music. He was a writer. He was a poet. He was everything, and he had all this stuff in his hands, and no place to put his wallet. So he's walking out of the backyard, and the Japanese gardener was there, and the guy says, "Hello," and Steve says, "Hello."
The wallet in his mouth.
Same crap.
Wallet in the mouth. That's great.
Yeah. But we're telling stories now, and stories are great, and we don't get them on the air anymore usually because most of these guys don't know how to tell stories. Honestly, maybe they think the audience isn't interested. We got a fool that tells Trump jokes all night. I got a Trump joke. You want me to tell one? No. No, I mean, what are we doing? Why would we make our living off of arguing on the phone with people who are misinformed?
Yeah.
Right.
Why would we do that? First of all, they're not intelligent calls as a rule. There, I gave up taking phone calls when I was on the all-night show on WOR because in the middle of the night I would get a call from a woman who wanted to argue about why the Yankees didn't win, and she quarterbacked everything. I mean, you want to take a call at 3? You were there. You were on my show.
Yes,
3 o'clock
was,
in the morning. You're going to hear somebody call and bitch about how the Yankees didn't do well.
Why does Secretariat lose the Travis Stakes?
And what's his name? What's his name got fired today?
Oh,
the other day?
Spicer, the press
Sean
secretary.
Spicer, right?
Yeah, he resigned.
So he was a lefty, wasn't he? Wasn't he? I think he's all right now.
He's all right now. He's
cool.
all right now. He's all right now. He's all right.
He's not right about a lot of things. But, the press secretaries go on to have bigger jobs. He got famous.
Yeah, he's going to write a book.
Oh, come on. Everybody writes a book and nobody reads. What are we doing? Download me, please. All right. Now, speaking of that, I was the governor of Maine is a guy named Paul LePage. And I was on a show, Ray Richardson. And I want to mention him because he plugged us. And Ray Richardson is in the state of Maine. Jim Bolabuk took me over there to his place, and I was on the show with J.J. Jeffries' station. And Ray wrote this book, Rebuilding Maine's Future. This is the guy that swears and says things.
Oh, yeah.
And gets in trouble. But the state's never been in better shape.
See that?
So we need a cursor.
Yeah. So let's not start now, Joey.
So American Gangster, what about it, Bobby?
Well, that was with Ridley Scott. It was some time ago. It was a great experience, and I worked with Josh Brolin. That was wonderful. I played his partner, a guy named my name was McCann in the film, and it was a wonderful experience. Work with Ridley, and that whole experience was great. But if we cut to now, the most exciting thing in my life is this new series called The Sinner, with Jessica Biel, Bill Pullman, Chris Abbott, Patty Darbenville. And it really is a great murder mystery. Why kind of did it happen? Why did this person, Jessica Biel, murder this young man on the beach? And is it homicide? Is it not? It goes into the psyche, and Pullman plays this detective who just believes that she just didn't commit this act of murder. And you can see the trailers. It's on USA, and it premieres August 2nd. And, I've read a lot of scripts, and this one I followed by Derek Simmons. He's the writer, and it's just brilliant. It really is some brilliant writing. You get a lot of, I've been in some TV pilots, and this one's a limited series. A lot of the programs are going limited series now. It's only going to be eight episodes. But I think it really has... it'll have the same impact as Twin Peaks and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's along that genre, that kind of mystery that you really want to see more. Every week you want to see a little bit. And when I was reading it, I said, geez, what's going to happen in the next script? And I just read the final one. It's really good.
Well, you're great. You're great.
Oh,
First of all, you stayed as a regular guy, which is nice.
Oh, thanks.
And you moved from Staten Island to Brooklyn, which is a good move.
Oh, yeah.
Usually it's the other way around.
Well, you didn't want to pay for Easy Pass.
Right.
I love Brooklyn. That's
my idea of Easy Pass was one of those hookers on 8th Avenue.
Wow.
So what
I
happens?
love the restaurants in Brooklyn.
My bad jokes.
Okay.
So what happens now with your career? Are you going to do film? Are we
Well,
kind of like...
I've always done film and television. The body of my work, it truly is in television, from Sopranos
Vinyl?
to Law and Order and Vinyl, which was a really big show. I don't know why it was canceled. Who knows why? That was a great one.
Because there was no payola.
Well, Scorsese and Mick Jagger were the executive producers.
You would think. You would think. You would think. So, I mean, and of course I do love to do theater, and theater is my first love, because it just has this chronology. When you're doing it, you get a beginning and a middle and an end, and you get that kind of that feedback from the audience. There's nothing like it. You get a kind of a somewhat of a feedback when you're watching yourself on TV and film, and maybe when you're doing it, when you're performing it, you say, well, that was a good take. I really liked it, but it's not the same.
How do you feel about sequels? How does that strike you? We're on.
Well, there could be really good sequels.
Wonder Woman and Spider-Man.
Well, I just heard that Wonder Woman is going to have a sequel.
Well, you know why? Because Marvel Comics bought AMC. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable how we've gotten into the comic book business.
I think it's the content. I think the reason why Sin is such I think is going to be a success, is very successful, is because it was written as a novel.
Yeah.
And And I think Jessica Biel, and I don't think, she's producing it. And I think that once this airs, even Chris Abbott, and Bill Pullman, they're all going to get a resurgence, I believe, in their careers. And even for myself, because I'm part of that success. I play a father-in-law. And I think that the actor now is looking more to produce for themselves, because that work that those writers like Arthur Miller and Tennessee Williams, they're not just, Shanley is probably, John Patrick Shanley is our last great writer that we have here in America. There are other great writers and Larry Kramer and stuff, but you know what I mean, who were able to make that transition. And I think a lot of actors are looking to and I think Jessica, by producing this, is really, people are going to look at her and see her on a different level. I think this is really going to be a stepping stone for her really doing great work.
When are we going to see it? When do we see it?
August 2nd.
Wednesday. It's a Wednesday night.
So we'll see it. We'll see it on there, and we'll see you at the Cutting Room, too. With,
absolutely.
Vinny, absolutely. Vinny Bullets over Broadway.
We'll be there
Pastor.
We'll be there in September, Joe.
Little pussy. We'll be right back.
All right, this is the Late Joey Reynolds Show. Is brought to you by TiedInMedia.com. Tied In Media takes the most successful brands, e-tailers, and millennialpreneurs to the next level. Visit TiedInMedia.com. That's TiedIn Media.com.
This is Sunday Night Live with the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Today, I will help save a life.
Today, I will make a positive impact on my community.
Today, I will network for a cure.
Today, I will become a go-giver.
Together, we will make a difference.
Our mission at pinktide.org is to bring the business community together to support organizations that have a direct impact on our community. Join a growing movement that will contribute $100,000 to local charities each quarter. Visit pinktide.org and join us in making a difference.
Life in Plainview is about to get sweeter. Plainview Chocolate Works will be opening their sweet doors in July, offering premium Belgian chocolate delights. Get a mouth-watering candy selection to satisfy the most sophisticated sweet tooth. Oh, this is sweet. Have the ultimate party experience inside a hands-on chocolate studio. Plus, get custom-branded chocolate gifts that will take your personalized party favors and corporate gifts to a sweet new dimension. Plainview Chocolate Works creates one-of-a-kind 3D chocolate sculptures, customized gift baskets for any profession or occasion, dipped to perfection platters, handmade truffles, and more. You'll love giving back to the Long Island community with chocolate charity, as 5% of your Plainview Chocolate Works purchases are donated back to pinktie.org. Their efforts support charitable organizations in the local community. Learn how your purchases are making a difference, and real soon, details about the Plainview Chocolate Works grand opening date and festivities. Call 516-252-3855 or visit pinktie.org/chocolateworks.
Transportation for the Late Joey Reynolds Show provided by Matt Silver's Ultimate Class and Limousine Transportation Worldwide. 516-935-4444. 516-935-4444.
You found a true variety show with Sunday Night Live, audio and video. It's the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
All right, we got Kathy Searle here.
Yes, we do.
Searle.
Yeah, Searle.
Yeah. Well, you know, we
rhymes with Pearl, Joey.
It does.
Thanks. You know, why do I have you around? It's like, you know, when I first asked you to be on the show, it was just a mercy move.
Thank you. Oh, that's nice.
I'm actually here to tell you that I'll be your replacement.
That's fine.
Well, yeah, we wanted to do that on the air. Oh, and the table, the offer that I made on the table for ABC, it's on eBay now. They're going to be on the Shark Tank next week.
Is KBC in on that too?
Oh my God. This radio thing has got to change. They got to put us on every night, and we have to be on live every night and just do what we do and get rid of all these other Hollywood bees and these ridiculous talk show hosts that answer phones and argue with people about something they know nothing about and that people don't care about anymore. We don't want to hear the name Trump ever again.
Yes.
We don't want to hear that. What do we want to hear all that for?
I know.
Now, did you do a series, Kathy, up in New Hampshire?
I did a film. It was called Love and Kilnary. I actually just wrapped it. Yeah, in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
You did that in Portsmouth?
Yes.
Well, you know what else is in New Hampshire? I was just in Maine last week, but you know, there's Mount Washington.
Yes.
And you know what that is, right? That's the highest point in the Northeast, historically. You know, see, people need to learn about things. I need to learn. You know what the trouble with Rush Limbaugh? He never got his ass off the couch. You got to leave the room.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't learn anything. You got to go. You got to go to Russia. You got to go to these places we're going to talk about them, which is what I did.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to travel and you have to experience people. And first of all, I got to like people. And so I went. Mount Washington is one of the 3 presidential mountains in the range. There's Jefferson, Washington, and Adams. And they're building one for Donald Trump now. It's an anthill.
I was just waiting. I knew.
So, Kathy, how are you?
I like you guys were talking about Sean Spicer. We're not talking about the fact that he stole a refrigerator?
Oh, no. Did
Allegedly.
He take it home with him?
Apparently. I want to know, was it a mini fridge, big fridge? What was it?
Samsung. That's why we're at war with North Korea.
That's the reason.
So what's the problem with your career right now that you're here? I mean, you know.
Yeah, really. Why would you do that?
I don't know, you guys. It's crickets and tumbleweed, I got to tell you. My career and love life, it's really exciting.
Oh, that's both taking place here?
It is, yeah.
Oh,
I'm hoping that somebody's going to tune in and see it and say, hey, you know what? She's decent. Yeah, I'll just bribe them with the cash. I'm rolling in singles. My career is
craft
huge.
singles.
My favorite kind of cheese.
Melty cheese.
We're going to see your stand-up somewhere this week?
Not this week, but I have done stand-up. I've worked at Caroline's and Gotham, and I've been pretty lucky with the
How do you like it? How do you like that as opposed to doing a
stand-up is very different. It's a different kind of a beast, I like to say, because, as a woman, you just never know. You never know what the audience and how they're going to respond to you. So it's flying blind, but it's actually really exciting. Although it feels like pooping and puking at the same time.
Nice.
That horrible, nervous feeling where you're thinking, I don't want to do this. And
I have that feeling every week.
Every
week.
On Sunday?
Here.
Yeah.
You have any desire to do another film?
Quickly? Yes. Yeah, actually, I am starting a Western, if you can believe it. I know, looking at me, I just shout Western. But I'm going to be shooting in Montana and all over, and I'm going to learn to shoot a rifle. So
good.
Wow.
I fear for
their whips.
Yeah.
Really? Then I'll watch.
Well, it's mostly comic books now. It's not about. We were talking about that with Bobby a little while ago.
Yeah.
We don't do the traditional thing in film anymore. That real long, drawn out, wonderful romantic love story like you just did.
Yes, yeah. Well, I've been lucky. That's a lot of the work that I've done, or the rom-coms, the sort of classic, boy meets girl. Boy meets awkward girl like me.
Because you're a character. You're a character.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you first decided that you were going to be on this show tonight, let me just go back to this for a minute. All right.
Yeah.
What did they tell you? I just wonder how
I was going to get a lot of money.
I thought that. Because people leave here mad every week.
I'm going to be rolling in with single ride Metro cards. I'm excited. Just like, sign me up.
Well, I got the senior rate.
Joey, come on. You single?
Yeah, I sure am.
Not after tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, you heard it first here.
Here we go. She likes older men, Jay.
You can tell.
You notice?
Yeah. Yes, I do. No, I'm an old soul.
Older men, they provide some sort of stability.
Yeah, money.
Except for me.
Well, she's got some career going on. She's on what I think is one of the funniest commercials on television right now.
Oh.
Which is what?
The John Cena commercial where they're selling hefty bags.
Yes.
We got a little sample of it.
We actually have a clip of that particular commercial.
Oh, good. I hope they're going to pay us when we run it.
Well, it doesn't matter.
You better call Mike Cave and tell him.
No, but I
was saying, hefty's strong, and it's a great deal.
I love saving money.
I also love saving money. I love you.
Attention shoppers. Christy, Sarah, Kim, your husbands are waiting up front.
Yes, that right there.
I've seen that. I love it.
It's really good.
Thank you.
It's just a
the
premise,
That's a great commercial.
Yeah, it's not typecasting at all. The sort of desperate in love with John Cena.
Really, it never happened to you in real life.
No, not at all. No. He's an amazing man.
Is he?
He really is.
Yeah.
He was very lovely, very funny, very philanthropic. He's doing it the right way.
Well, you're a very perky little package there.
I'll take the perky little package. Thank you. Now I'm going to slip you some money.
So how do you like playing those gawking wives?
I always love it. I'm a perfect gawking wife. I'm just not married in real life, so I'm sure that that's how I will be when I am married. That's what I'm aiming for. No, it's terrible.
what I like about you is...
Since when did you take over this show? I was. What? Is there a turning point here somewhere? Did I leave the room?
This happens every week. The second I open my mouth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're supposed to be Ed McMahon, not Kathy Lee Gifford.
Hi-oh.
Bring out the wine. Let's
so what
start
were you going to ask her?
drinking.
Go ahead.
Nothing.
No, don't pull back now.
No. When you get cast for something like that, you've got a voiceover career, too.
I do.
And a lot of people don't realize
Thanks to
that
one of the producers here.
You have to go on what are called cattle calls. And you get picked, and maybe you're the 3 that get picked to do it, and then you have to audition again and again and again, and finally you get the gig.
Yes.
Now, what kind of voices do you play? I mean,
Well, I do a lot of character voices, which is great. I've done a lot of animation, and it's a blast. I mean, what's so beautiful about voiceover acting is that it's acting in front of a microphone. So you have to create a story and a picture for those that can't see it. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you can wear your pajamas, and, I love my elastic waist, so it's great for me.
Well, you've been on a lot of shows, been on a lot of the
Thank
TV
you.
shows. And it's always great to have somebody who has this kind of visibility on this show, because we have none. No, it's good. It's really good. I mean,
Not after tonight. I'm going to bring you tens of fans.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, that's...
Well, most things now are tweeted and twittered, and there's something that goes on in New York, which is not in L.A. They couldn't get away with this in L.A., but there's a cookie dough that's being sold near NYU, and the line is astounding. And I asked the guy yesterday, I was there yesterday, what's this line? I was from here to China, just to get this cookie dough ice cream. And they wait in line, and they grab a number now like they're going to play the lottery to go in there to have some of this cookie ice cream crap. And so I said, how much is this crap? And they said, about $5, $7. I said, why is it so popular? And the guy says, social networking.
It is.
So what is social networking? What does that mean to you?
It's all about Instagram, because they really are, especially these food companies. The pictures is what everyone is sort of dying and they're going gaga over. So you put a picture of cookie dough in a cone and all of a sudden somebody wants it.
Well, this is not even a cone. They give you one of these cheap cups.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to put it in a cone.
Well, I was going to open up a drive-through window. Matter of fact, I was going to drive through their window. No, I mean, I like the social networking aspect, but I think it's misunderstood. I think we don't really we use that as an excuse term these days.
Well, and now, especially dating in this city, I find that the guy will put his phone on the table. So it's sort of like the Wild Wild West, where like if something better comes along, I'm going to grab my phone.
Wow.
And it's looking at Twitter, looking at Facebook and Instagram. It's Snapchat, which I still don't get. I feel very old looking at Snapchat.
Well, I had to buy back that porno movie I was in.
Oh, boy.
Actually, I got the only copy on it. Big fan.
Well, the internet has been great for us to date. Jay isn't doing this. He's been married to the same woman for
41 years.
Until she's
wow.
she's not even speaking to him anymore. But it's a long time.
That's the secret to marriage. Just don't talk to one another.
And we got Jay Leonhart here. He's got grandchildren. He doesn't want to talk about them because he don't want to bore me with my 4. You know Jay? Have you met Jay?
No, I have not.
Well, Jay's probably the best bass player in the world, but he won't say that about him. I will. And,
I'll say it.
All right, say that. Can you talk for a minute here?
Yeah, is it open?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, yeah, you're
good. Yeah, no,
your mic's on.
I'm just kidding. I'm way too humble to do something.
Do you remember when we were with Les Paul and you were there? And,
oh, yes.
And he would call me up and then he would undress me on stage?
Oh, yes, I do.
Systematically?
I do.
Every time?
I do.
And he called me, well, he called me a lot of things.
Yes, he called a lot of people a lot of things.
When he wanted to get me off the stage, he said, there's a phone call for you.
Yes, right.
Remember that?
Right. I do.
You remember all those nights with Lester Paulus?
I do. I do remember a lot of them. I wasn't there for many of them, but I was a sub, but I was there a lot, surprisingly.
And, you saw me there all the time.
Yes, I did.
Now, the Iridium's in trouble, that Ellen's Diner upstairs, which is another one of those waiting lines so you get the cookie dough things. That Ellen's Diner is the singing waiters and waitresses have been stealing. And it made the Huffington Post.
Oh, my.
Somebody's been stealing?
Oh, it's social networking.
It's shocking.
Oh.
It's fake news.
In the restaurant business?
Yeah, oh, yeah. How dare they take...
Skimming off the top?
Take the steak home.
Yeah, you know, it's like they say to Ellen Diner, "Oh, I heard you had a terrible fire." No, that's next week.
So, Jay, you used to play with Mel Torme.
I did.
And we, my favorite thing that you do, which we did not rehearse for this.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
But I love the story of Mel Torme.
Uh-oh.
Can we? I know you got. We have a wonderful.
Do we have curtains here?
Tomoko Ohno is here, and she's a pianist extraordinaire, and and she's a great lady. But I wanted you to. I'm just hitting you with this.
Yes, you are, because we had a highly organized program, which we're now going to toss out the window.
Oh, lovely.
And fish for the music to this one, which we didn't practice because we knew we didn't have to play.
But you know
today.
the story. I mean, it's your story.
Yes, well, it is my story.
It's you with Mel Torme.
Well, listen, we got to do it.
All right, let's tell everybody who Mel Torme is. Let's start with that for these generational accidents we're having.
A lot of people know who Mel Torme was.
Oh, and then many don't.
Yeah, okay,
all right,
go
millennials, Mel Torme was the Velvet Fog.
Right.
He was one of the best voices we ever had in our country to sing songs like...
what was it?
The one
Pick Yourself Up.
The Christmas song.
I didn't know you were talking about that. He wrote the Christmas song.
Yeah.
He wrote that.
And he was a very, very big artist. I mean, he was the best of the best.
Right, and he blossomed in about the 50s, and he was one of the greatest musician singers ever.
And he had an attitude.
Well, you know, he had an attitude with certain people. He never had an attitude with me. That's why we lasted 10 years, because he was always friendly and fun, and I saw him with his attitude with others, but, you know, he was...
we got time for him to do this song?
Let's play the song.
All right. Now, this is the story.
This is the story, and we arranged it for... it has to do with the fact that I used to go to play with Mel, and we would go down to Washington, D.C. to Blues Alley, and we would play there every year a couple times. And you had to be there at 8 o'clock at night. That was about all that was required, just be there. But one Sunday, the last Sunday of the gig, I went up to New York, decided I would play the brunch at the Blue Note, take the shuttle back down to Washington at 5 o'clock, and be there in time for the show. Nothing to it. I didn't tell anybody except for the fact that when I got to the airport, the weather was horrible. It's 5 p.m. I'm sitting in an airplane at LaGuardia. The captain says there will be a delay. Oh no, this isn't good. You see, I've got to be in Washington, D.C. tonight to play for Mel Torme. Out the window of the airplane, lightning's crashing, winds are thrashing, skies are dark and rain is whipping by. Still somehow 3 hours from now I've got to be in Washington, D.C. This plane has got to fly. I did not tell a soul last night about my little New York flight. I knew that I could make it back in time. But now it looks like Mel Torme may play tonight without the bass. And let me tell you, that would be a crime. That would be a crime. I really hate to say it, but I think my luck has finally run out. My warranty has just expired. Because if I am not in Blues Alley tonight at 8 o'clock and playing bass for Mel Torme, I will be fired. You see, I really like this job. We always have a lot of fun. Everybody gets along real well. We play a lot of real nice music. I get lots of solos. But now I'm going to blow it all to hell. It's going to be curtains with Torme. I'm very sad to have to say I will be history. I will be gone. So as the plane just sits right here, I'll figure out a new career. But adios, Mel. I'll be moving on. I'll be moving on. Moving on. Then around 6:35, the engines roar, they come alive, and seconds later we are in the air. I begin to think that there is hope that I may somehow make this gig tonight. Oh, do I even dare? But God, the weather's terrible. We're flying right through thunderstorms, yet the captain just keeps pressing on. Now the airplane's diving, dumping, jiving, jumping, bouncing, bumping. Look, I can see the White House lawn. It defies all understanding how we could be really landing, but at 7:30 we touched down. Congratulations, Captain. No, I never had the slightest doubt. Now pardon me, I've got to get downtown. I get a taxi right away with absolutely no delay. I tell the taxi driver of my plight. Before we even settle down, he mashes that old pedal down. We fly to town as we make every light. Make every light. 8 o'clock we reach Blues Alley. I walk in quite casually, as if I weren't under such distress. I saunter through the restaurant, trying to be nonchalant, but inside I am a total mess. I see the show has not begun. They're waiting for me. Oh, isn't this fun? I don't think I'll survive. So fully prepared to meet my doom, I walk into the dressing room and find I'm the first one to arrive. With all my worry and my fear, it turns out I'm the first one here. Sometimes life can be sublime. In spite of all the stress and strain I went through on that stinking plane, I'm the only one who's here on time. The only one on time. Then around 8:35, the others frantically arrive, apologizing all the way. They're rushing around, they're in a panic like musicians on the Titanic. I say, fellas, it's okay. Everyone, including Mel, is rushing around upset as hell, while me, I am as calm as I could be. Here I almost blew the gig, almost screwed up really big, but now I'm Mr. Punctuality. That's me. I was absolutely certain I would never make this curtain. This gig would be the death of me. I could feel the noose around my neck. I was a total nervous wreck, but now, Mr. Punctuality. It's 5 p.m. I'm sitting in an airplane at LaGuardia. The captain says there will be a delay. Oh no, this isn't good, you see. I've got to be in Washington, D.C. tonight to play for Mel Torme. I'm on time and everything's on okay, and I'm gonna play for Mel. Torme.
Wow. Isn't that epic? Is that an epic performance?
That's cool.
I'm going to take that and sell it.
There you go.
Jay Leonhart and also Tomoko Ohno.
Yeah, very nice.
Lovely.
The wonderful Tomoko Ohno.
Yeah.
She's
great. Very talented.
Oh, indeed.
Not you, her. We'll be right back.
The Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by Leap EDU. Become part of the high-paying, fast-paced New York real estate industry. They have an essential event coming up. Find out about 844-303-5327 or go to leapedu.com.
This is Sunday Night Live with the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Social media is the marketing sensation. Every day, there are over 1 billion likes and tweets around the world. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others have taken over as the #1 form of communication. Take advantage of this phenomenon. Talk with tideinmedia.com about building a vital social media strategy. Go to tideinmedia.com. That's tideinmedia.com. They'll help guide your business through social media, web development, and marketing. Building your brand and taking your business to the next level is what Tide In Media does. Many of Tide In Media's clients have been featured on Fox News, People Magazine, MTV, and other top-tier networks. The most successful businesses are leveraging the internet. Follow in the footsteps of the Late Joey Reynolds Show and visit tideinmedia.com. That's tideinmedia.com. Or call Tide In Media today at 844-373-8433. That's 844-373-8433. And tell them the Late Joey Reynolds Show sent you.
Are you in debt? Can't make your monthly bills? Are you making your payments but the balances aren't going down? Bankruptcy might be right for you. Don't be fooled by debt consolidation. The process is expensive and can take as long as 5 years. Debt consolidation is a business. Bankruptcy is the law. Go now to nybankruptcy.com. Schedule a free consultation with a duly licensed attorney. Don't put your financial life on freeze for 5 years. Start rebuilding your credit in as little as 90 days. Debt settlement? Most people can't settle their debt because they don't have the money. Bankruptcy is your fresh start. Go now to nybankruptcy.com to schedule your free consultation. Your financial life will be reviewed by a duly licensed New York attorney. Each case must be reviewed and there are rules that apply. Not all debt is dischargeable. Not all people will qualify. Bankruptcy is not the end. Bankruptcy is the beginning. Visit nybankruptcy.com today.
You can listen on air or online. Plus, watch the Late Joey Reynolds Show right now with streaming video at SundayNightLive.com.
Singing recently.
Wait. Let's do this right. let's introduce Leroy Reams first, and then we'll play a little something that he's saying. Oh. You're doing this wrong. This is like the late night shows where they get the person, they sit down, and they run that stupid ass trailer.
Okay, let's
everybody's supposed to run out and see this movie because they just saw 30 seconds of someone burp, and and then when you're in the theater, let me just finish. We're in the theater, they edit this thing so fast that you already saw the movie on fast speed. Mm-hmm. Like that makes us feel inferior. Like, what, am I missing something? I better get in line and get that cookie dough ice cream. If there's a line in New York, everybody thinks they should be in it. Yeah. And the line in New York is leading to Jersey. So, get in that damn line and get out of here and go join that fat governor. So what's the matter with him anyway?
What do you mean, what's the matter with him?
Well, he was your governor.
Yeah, so?
I mean, you live over there.
Yeah,
Don't you talk to him? Didn't you tell him something about life itself?
I should have.
Yeah.
It's too late now. He's going to be gone soon.
Son of a beach.
Wow.
He's watching the show right
now. Yeah, I know he is watching. So Leroy Reams is a great actor. Great actor. All right, now Leroy, we're going to play something here of yours.
And I'm anxious to hear it myself because I don't know.
What is it, Jay? What did you choose? Did you choose this?
Well, it's one of the things that I chose, yes.
Okay, what is it?
This is a piece of Broadway music that we will play right now, and then you'll know.
Leroy Reams is a Broadway song and dance expert.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's one of the best.
Star.
One of the best, yeah.
And you're mistreating me. Go ahead, play this.
Let's go on with our... Hit it! Show!
That's called belting it out.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
And you remind me of all the time, the two of you are very similar as Nathan Lane.
Oh.
Both of you guys.
I just wish that I had the money that he makes now.
But you can't wish for what someone else has. Otherwise you're liable to have it.
No, that what you just heard was from a concert I did with the Fred Barton Orchestra.
Very wonderful.
Where was it?
It was down, and now you're going to ask me where it was, the Simon Weissel hall down at down at one of the universities.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody should know we're on in L.A. And we have a big audience in Los Angeles, and they have a little theater presence. It's not. They have some of the shows. They're just now getting Jersey boys. But what we need to know from you is, have you worked in L.A. and have you?
Oh, I've worked in L.A. a lot, but mostly doing tours of Broadway shows.
Like
I
what?
did 42nd Street there. I did
Oklahoma?
Lorelei there. I did Hello Dolly with Carol Channing in L.A.
I forgot about
at the Schubert and the Pantages Theater. Yeah. So the producers I did in L.A. And so I've done a lot of Broadway shows that have toured and gone to L.A.
Yeah,
and I love it. I have a lot of friends there. And in the old days, I used to be a dancer in all the variety shows there, all the way from Danny Kaye to Carol Burnett. And all those in between.
Did you like Carol Burnett?
Yes. I was only there for 3 months because I was tiring of that scene, and Variety was going out, and I wanted to be in a Broadway show. So I came back, and I was cast as Will Parker by Richard Rodgers and that was 1969 at the Lincoln Center at the New York State Theater with Oklahoma. And my Aunt Eller was Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch of the West. One of the great ladies of the theater. Yeah.
Is she really green?
She's a lovely lady. She had a beautiful apartment on down at Gramercy Park, and I used to go down and have what she called toasted cheese sandwiches with her, but we call it grilled cheese. But she was a wonderful woman.
And a little wine. Now, you know, we lost Martin Landau, and I got in trouble with that because I had him on the first satellite. I did the first satellite show in the country years ago, 1977. And I had Barbara Bain was on the show with me, and I said, does Marty still have that drinking problem? And I was just trying to be goofy, and she was livid with me. Remember, 10 years later, she came up at NBC, and she
let you have it.
Finally forgave me. When he died last week, I felt terrible about it because he died with a drinking problem. But, you know, I thought it was terrible that I would go way off on that. And Leroy Reams, did I offend you yet?
No, you haven't, because it's not about me.
He's only got about a minute left, so
we're not finished yet. So. But one thing that I can push that you know for the listeners who are out there, they're going to be around for the Feinstein's 54 Below. Yeah. I'm going to be there October 6th and 7th at 7 o'clock show. And I'll be there New Year's Eve at 7 o'clock. So if you want to have a good time coming down to Feinstein's 54 Below, you've been there. So.
I think it's great. It's a great club. I'm going to come and see you. Can I do that?
Thank you. Please.
Do I have to pay?
He's got plenty of cash.
Talk to Richard Frankel and the people there at the club. I'm sure they'll make something for you.
All right. Now, so we're going to be able to see Leroy Reams at 54 Below, which is the old drug place.
Feinstein's 54 Below now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
We have to give Michael the billing. Absolutely.
Thank you. Let a smile be your umbrella. Don't get a mouthful of rain.
And the Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by Tide In